Hey everyone, welcome to the shop. Yeah, that launch, that's no good. Honestly, a little bit embarrassing. I debated not even showing it, but I think it's still a good idea to show the baseline for this car. Let's not keep you guys waiting. The numbers, here's on the screen. It did a 12.242 at 117.59 miles an hour. Now, those of you that know about drag racing know that a 400 wheel horsepower car should be doing a hell of a lot better than that. And that's fair. I mean, that launch was awful. Unfortunately, Lucas Oil Raceway, as you can see right here, it's about 150, maybe 180 cars. It means that generally you only get 2 hits at it. So really, I had to just send it. This car's been sitting in a field probably for at least 10 years. I've had it to about 10 miles an hour, other than on the dyno. That was the first run of the night. I had to give it all because I didn't know how many more runs I was going to have. That's a big part of the reason why it was so exciting. Exciting is the right word. I'm just happy it held together. But really, there's 3 problems with this. First is, if you look at that reaction time, that's really the reaction time. Obviously, it doesn't actually affect the rest of the time slip. You could sit there on the line for a minute and you'd still get the same time at the end. But that really indicates the fact that I'm just not good at drag racing. I need to do a lot more practice, and in order to do that, I'm going to have to find a strip locally, probably Bunker Hill or Muncie. They're only 1/8 mile tracks, which I know I want to get 1/4 mile numbers to compare, but an 1/8 mile track would allow me to do a bunch of runs, practice that launch, get that thing down. Because if we look at this, the 60 foot time, this is one of the most important numbers in here, 2.243. That, I mean, we know this motor with no modifications at all should be able to get 1.7. Well, it's not just should. It does get 1.7, 1.8 60 foot times on street tires. There's no reason I can't do at least that. Improving that will have dramatic effects on the ET. You know, I can't say what exactly those will be. All I can say right now is I've done a 12.242, but improvements should come pretty easily. Part of the reason for that is a bad launch. Part of the reason for it is the transmission that's in here is a European diesel transmission. I just picked that because it's one of the transmissions I had laying in the shop. It already had the forward-facing output that is needed for the MR2 without being an E153. I have a couple E153s laying in the shop, but to be honest, the E153 is just, it's shit. I'm sorry. It's a terrible transmission. It weighs an absolute ton. It weighs, I think, what was it, 29 pounds more than this transmission I've got in here. Sure, the gears are super strong, but it doesn't shift. You get the thing up to 8,000 RPM, you try to do a 1-2 shift, and it just says, nope. You can't go drag racing with that. Well, you can't do a lot of things with that. So I didn't want that transmission. This one, just buttery smooth. It doesn't care. It just shifts so smoothly. People said it would break at 400 wheel horsepower. It doesn't. It tends to break at 400 in the Scion TC, and that's because wheel hop, the differential brakes. The differential is still the weakest thing in here, but you know, that's not hard to fix. Here, let's fix it. Put a spool in there, right? This is a dedicated drag car. So that'll also, you know, fix the fact that it's an open differential. I'll tweak the gears and get some practice, and we'll give it another go. The other thing I want to talk about is all of the parts now are on the website. Some of them are not done with production yet, as of the taping of this. It'll take about 6 weeks or so to get everything back from production. And then orders can start filling. But everything can be bought right now. For now, I've only ordered, well, the Holly plenum here is super available. That's not a problem. But the lower half, I've only ordered 10. But I will order more. So right now there's, I think it's 6 of those that are ordered. So if you want one in about 6 weeks, I would suggest placing your order soon. The other big thing is Paul Woods from Woodsport is now, well, is going to be making an adapter soon. This is the final prototype. I have to run some tests on this, make sure that everything is okay with it. But you plug your 3rd gen Sienna harness in here, and now you can put a Haltech ECU. You've even got your plug for your wideband O2, and there you go. Interestingly enough, the crowd that bugs me the most about adding power to their 2GRs is actually the Sienna crowd. So inadvertently, I'm honestly wondering how many of these end up going to actual Siennas to use an aftermarket ECU in there. I don't know. Either way, send me a picture if you do. I find that stuff freaking hilarious. Yeah. So this is just the beginning. At this point, this is the fastest 2GR naturally aspirated MR2. It is the 4th fastest naturally aspirated MR2. The original goal was to put the 2AR in at this point, but the video got so much attention that I need to keep going. It's still my goal to do it with the 2AR, and I will do that soon. It's not hard to switch the motor in and out, so you might see this car sometimes with a 2AR, sometimes with a 2GR. I'll try to keep both going and yeah, go from there. So anyways, yeah, 12.242. It was exciting. Have a good one.